Hello, my sexy and beautiful people of the internet. My name is Diego, also known as the Chilean Roto Gamer, and welcome back to the River of Sadness here on Chilean Roto Gamer 4. This is the last game of tournament number 2, the second one out of the Loser's Revenge wheel for this current tournament. I'm gonna be playing Aero Fighters 2 on the Neo Geo. First things first, I owe you an apology for not completing Agony on the Amiga. Well, unfortunately, the game crashed when it was loading the next stage, which coincidentally was going to be the last one in the game. So I showed you 5 out of the 6 stages, which makes me feel kind of bad, but trust me, I tried to play through it again and the same problem occurred. I got the same issue, so I don't think I'll be able, at least with the version I have right now, to finish the game for you guys. If I actually happen to find a working or fully working version somewhere on the internet and play it on my own time, I guess I can provide a full playthrough eventually, but the idea of the River of Sadness at least is to show you games, introduce to you certain games that probably I have never played before, and clearly some of you never played before by yourselves. So it's a good way to get introduced to new games. So yeah, I'm playing Aero Fighters 2. Look at this guy, got even a arcade stick and buttons. So he's not only a robot, but also an arcade machine that you can play with. As dirty as that sounds. So yeah, Aero Fighters 2, the second one of the series that came out on arcades and Neo Geo on home consoles. I don't know if this actually got another release as part of a compilation, like these typical compilations that we saw on PlayStation 1 or 2. I know the sequel, or one of the sequels to Aero Fighters actually came out on PlayStation 1, which was called Sonic Wings Special, which only came out in Japan as far as I know. So yeah, the Aero Fighters series is one of my favorite shoot-'em-up series ever. Probably, I don't like it as much as the 1940 series, at least the 90s games. And Strikers 1945, which is a clear copycat to this one game, even though the copycat ended up being a better game than this, in my humble opinion. So yeah, the Aero Fighters game, it is well known among shoot-'em-up fans. The first game came out on arcades and the Super Nintendo. Today is one of the most expensive Super Nintendo games. It's considered rare. And yeah, Aero Fighters 2 and 3 came out on arcade and in the Neo Geo. Again, I'm not sure if this actually came out on PlayStation as part of a compilation. I'm not totally sure about that. It wouldn't surprise me if it did come out on PlayStation. I guess I can find out after I'm done with the playthrough. Eventually, if I want to do other versions of the very same game. And after Aero Fighters 2 and 3, we got Sonic Wings Special, as I mentioned before, that came out on arcades and the PlayStation 1. As a Japan exclusive, as far as I know. I always consider myself a big fan of the Aero Fighters series. Not an expert by any means. But this style of gameplay was the inspiration for a lot of future shoot-'em-ups, basically with this choosing lots of, being able to choose from a lot of ships, each ship having its own weaponry, and basically collecting lots of power-ups and bombs. Even though this was not a pioneer by any means, there were dozens, if not hundreds, of shoot-'em-ups like this before the Aero Fighter series. But in terms of, I don't know, the style, the speed, how short the levels are, I'm pretty sure this game served as inspiration for a lot of future shoot-'em-ups, including bullet hells that were very famous in the second half of the 90s and early 2000s. At least the arcade games became to massify during that time. So a simple power-up system, a simple, system of accumulating bombs and using them when you are in a sticky situation, like now, for example. Looks like all the parts of my body are working fine. So wasn't this guy an actual human in the first game? And now he became a robot? So anyway, about this game. This game got 10 stages, I think. It's either 10 or 12, I don't remember quite clearly. And 2 of them are bonus areas like this, in which, even though you can still die, basically the main priority is you trying to get as many power-ups as you can. And there is no boss battle, so just to get you an idea how short the level is. And probably the biggest... I mean, calling it a copycat, it's kind of insulting, but probably the big series, shoot-'em-up series that got most of the inspiration out of this game was the Strikers 1945 series by Psycho. Well, Psycho shooters in general were pretty much based almost entirely, also shoutouts to the plane passing by, making a lot of fucking noise. But yeah, all the Psycho shooters that I know of, at least from the 90s and early 2000s, that came out on arcade and also PlayStation, as a matter of fact, were inspired by this game. Oh, I didn't have any bombs. I was trying to use a bomb against that big guy. Now I am. Okay, couldn't get to destroy him. So yeah, basically, when you see the Strikers 1945 games, you say, hey, this is just like Aero Fighters. What a ripoff! But yeah, it's one of those examples of the ripoff series becoming better than the original series. The Strikers 1945 series got 4 games, I think. Strikers 1, 2, 3, and Plus that came out on Neo Geo. And those were excellent games that were improving in graphics as the sequels came out. Basically the ships having some 3D animations, some realistic ass explosions. Overall a beautiful game, super hard. Well, the Aero Fighters is also very difficult, but the Aero Fighter series in general. Seizure warning, by the way. This flashing is really getting me. Oh! I could have used them on there. Those guys were tough, but I am tougher. If you say so. Robo Kitten. Oh yeah, shoot the Statue of Liberty for a bomb. No, sorry, for a power-up. Hey, get the power-up, please. Don't go away. I really want to know if this actually came out on another console different from the Neo Geo. Again, I don't think the version would change too much. So that's our rival guy. Another... Oh no, this is not a rival. Or maybe he is. Which is kind of a common theme also in a lot of these shoot 'em ups. Lots of shoot 'em up series did the exact same thing, featuring a rival robot that appear in several levels, until you have an actual final confrontation right before the final boss or something like that. Okay. That was a little bit of an easier boss than the previous one. I feel rust in my neck. Where is my WD-50, whatever that is? Okay, before going to Australia, we're gonna stop the video here and do the rest of the game on the next episode, so I'm gonna make it a little bit short today. So thank you for watching.